I would have to say that one of the best things I've done in my whole ministry of, I don't know how many years is it now, 35 years. One of the best things I've done in 35 years of ministry was the Bless Project. I delighted that so many of you entered the project with open hearts and generous spirits, and I found myself being changed and growing along with you. Now, I went into the Bless Project with only a vague idea of what blessing really was. Like so many of us, I thought mostly of counting my blessings, something that we do quietly to increase our gratitude. But together we came up with a deeper, more demanding meaning. And we named a blessing as an expressed wish, whether spoken or enacted in another way, for someone else's positive future. Now, for those of us of faith, blessing connects us with God's design for God's reign on earth. So that positive future is building along with God what God intends for us. And the joy is that blessings can be expressed in this way, in a way that's very based in our faith and using Christian language. And blessing can also simply be the result of listening carefully to somebody, to what their hopes or needs are, and expressing those hopes for them in a way that captures the import of that desire. Blessing is not passive. It's not private. Blessing is something that's offered, something risked, something released into the world. It has an impact. It can change us and change those around us. Blessing is connection and love and kindness and mercy. And what I loved most about the Blessing Project is that it turned gratitude outward. It moved us from counting our blessings to becoming a blessing, a presence in our community, to turning our attention and our willingness to be seen in the community for others, for the flourishing of others and this community as a whole. So it feels a little bit fitting and almost providential that the lectionary, that assigned cycle of reading, brings us the Beatitudes today, just about a year after we began preparing for the Bless Project. These ancient blessings, these strange and beautiful promises that we hear as Jesus teaches his disciples and the crowds. We hear them through the lens that we've learned together, and they begin to breathe into us in a new way. Jesus is not talking in abstractions. He is offering a fiercely particular word of hope to people living on the edges of society. There is an old clergy saying that the Bible, and therefore the job of clergy, the Bible is to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comforted. And the Beatitudes do exactly that. They are not polite sayings to stitch on pillows, though some do. They are actually disruptive truths about what God hopes for God's world. They announce blessing where it is least expected. They announce blessing where the world has withdrawn blessing. Jesus blesses the poor, the grieving, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, not for security or comfort, but for righteousness. Now, many of us are tempted to soften the blow a little bit. We prefer the Matthew version, blessed are the poor in spirit, over the Luke version, which is just simply blessed are the poor, more direct. And many scholars actually believe the in spirit was added later, but no matter, the truth still stands. I think if we bristle at the idea that Jesus centers those with less power, less security, less voice, then it may be that we are the ones who are poor in spirit. Jesuit theologian James Keenan reminds us that the Beatitudes are not meant to turn us inward in self-examination. They are meant to turn us outward and, in fact, to help us to look at the world in a new way. He calls them a training manual for moral life. They teach us where to look. They train our attention towards those who are bereft of life's goods, the poor that are socially abandoned, that are disregarded and overlooked. In this way, he goes on to say the Beatitudes spur on the internal growth of the Christian disciple. They offer a training program to acquire a specific set of capabilities: empathy, meekness, a spirit of simplicity, mercy, personal integration, reconciliation, and courageous self-offering. This is not sentiment, my friends. This is not a sweet idea. This is something to form us and shape us. This is what love looks like as it is practiced over time. So yes, the Beatitudes are training for the moral life, but they are also a roadmap for blessing others. They show us where blessing is needed most and how we are meant to carry it out into the world. We can be honest, this church is richly blessed. We have resources, buildings, financial strength, deep generosity, but above all, we have you. Each and every one of you in the pews, those of you signing in online, others who are not here today, you, each and every one, carry gifts of blessing out into the world. You may not fully see them yet, but that is one of our greatest gifts. So if we ever wonder what to do with our capacity to bless, Jesus answers us plainly. Take his list, go out there, go looking. Go find those people who are truly poor in spirit. The grieving, the meek, those aching for justice that has long been denied to them or ones they love. The peacemakers who are worn thin by the world's violence and anger and the spirit of outrage. And with that, don't rush to fix. Rather, bless by befriending, by loving, by listening, by becoming a companion to those who need blessing, working aside them, so that the blessing of Jesus' promise may take shape in partnership. The early Christians defined themselves as people who did acts of mercy and people who gathered at the table. That was their self-definition of being Jesus' followers, acts of mercy and centering their lives around a common shared table in remembrance of Christ. And this is what we are called to do and to be as well. We are people sent towards the margins. We are people who dare to hope for others and with others for God's blessed future. We are people who share this hope and this blessing around the table and after we leave around our communities. May it be so.